Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard Intrepid. My name is David Winters, and I serve as the Executive Vice President of the Intrepid Museum. On behalf of our Board of Trustees, our President, Susan Marinoff-Zausner, Intrepid, I welcome you all as we commemorate Veterans Day. Welcome also to the live stream. This is one of the most important days for the museum and for our country. We set aside today to pay tribute to those who have served our nation in uniform and to remind them that their commitment, their sacrifice, and their will to protect our freedom will never be taken for granted. This is a fitting and meaningful place to hold this ceremony. This proud vessel served as home to 55,000 crew members over its 31 years of service. There is nothing more inspiring to us at Intrepid Museum than our own heroes, the men who served aboard this great ship. May I ask all former crew members of USS Intrepid with us today to stand if you are able and be recognized for your service, and please remain standing. I ask all military personnel and veterans now, please stand and be recognized. Please be seated. I'm pleased to welcome some very special guests with us. Joining us on stage, Co-Chairman of the Intrepid Museum, Mr. Bruce Mosler, Commissioner of the New York City Department of Veteran Services, Lieutenant Colonel James Hendon, and Navy Region Mid-Atlantic, Commander of Navy Region Mid-Atlantic, Rear Admiral Wesley McCall. I'd also like to recognize and welcome Navy Region Mid-Atlantic Director of Public Affairs and lead on the Navy's planning for Fleet Week, Beth Baker, the head of our American Legion post based right here at Intrepid, Sean Powers, and Intrepid Museum Vice Presidents Alexis Marion and Lisa Iaconello. We're also very honored to welcome officers, crew, and Marines from USS New York, commissioned 14 years ago this week, right here at Intrepid. We would also like to thank our great friends at Bank of America for honoring our veterans in a very special way. Their generosity allows all U.S. veterans to visit the Intrepid Museum free of charge throughout the year. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the performance of our national anthem by NC1 Tani Fields.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you very much, Tani. This has been an exciting and important year for the museum. In August, we commemorated the 80th commissioning anniversary of Intrepid, hosting and honoring more than 100 crew members from the ship's years of service. In September, we opened a very special new exhibition centered around fragments of a Corsair fighter aircraft that was flown off Intrepid during World War II and shot down, found off the coast of Japan, and returned home to this ship 78 years later. We also tell the story of the plane's pilot, Lawrence Nicely, who lost his life on that mission. And last month, we introduced a new brand to ever-growing audiences and best positioning us to remain dynamic and relevant for years to come. The aircraft carrier Intrepid was commissioned in 1943. An amazing feat of technology. It served in World War II, the Cold War, 3 tours in the Vietnam War, and the space race, and is today a National Historic Landmark. Today, Intrepid functions as a centerpiece of the Intrepid Museum, a renowned cultural institution dedicated to the intersection of history and innovation. We preserve and protect the stories of those who served on board. We utilize our artifacts and the innovative technology on display as a springboard to educate and inspire future generations. We bring in more than 1 million visitors annually, including 55,000 students to whom we teach STEM and history. We make inclusivity a high priority, offering a robust array of access programs to provide a truly enjoyable and welcoming experience for all. And we never lose sight of our veterans and military personnel, offering numerous programs to foster connections and serve their specific needs. Our commitment to them is and always will be unwavering. With that in mind, I would like to take a moment to remember 2 men who were very special to this ship, who we recently lost. Ed Hill was an Intrepid plank owner, meaning he served on the ship's first crew in 1943. He was on board for all of Intrepid's combat in World War II, including several kamikaze strikes. Ed was last with us on board Intrepid for the ship's 80th commissioning anniversary in August. And Dr. Ken Marshall, who served as a flight surgeon on board during the Vietnam era. While continuing in medical practice following his service, he remained engaged with Intrepid throughout his life, serving as a member of the board of directors of the USS Intrepid Former Crew Members Association. Ken Sudd, Adrian, and his family join us here today. Please remember Ed and Ken and all our former crew members who we have lost over the past year. It is my pleasure to introduce a great Intrepid leader. He is chairman of global brokerage at Cushman & Wakefield and helped to launch and now chairs Cushman & Wakefield's own veterans hiring platform. He is chairman emeritus of the executive committee of the Business Executives for National Security. He is the interim chair of the Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America and serves countless other civic and charitable organizations. Please welcome Intrepid Museum co-chairman Bruce Mosler.
Good evening, or I should say good morning, but it's really the afternoon. First, I want to say to our Intrepid crew members, for me, for all of us on Intrepid that are part of it, you make Intrepid what it is today. It is a living legend. It is more than steel. It is hope. It is aspiration. It is the future. And that is because of our former crew members. So we owe you a debt of gratitude that we can never fully repay, but we'll keep on trying. David, thank you for that very kind introduction. Admiral McCall, Commissioner Hendon, veterans, members of our military, ladies and gentlemen, it is an absolute privilege to join you today on this historic vessel. Can't compete with the young kids, though. Since becoming a member of the Board of Trustees in 1999, I have come aboard Intrepid countless times. And yet I never cease to be awed by this magnificent ship, her size, scale, but most of all, what I referred to in the beginning, her legacy, her crew. I'm even more awed when I have the high honor and privilege to stand among our nation's veterans, men and women who have courageously served in our defense in all parts of the world. They are the finest of the finest. They are the half of the 1% who, when the nation asks for volunteers to face fire and freedom's front, they have said, "Send me, I will go." In times of tranquility as well as strife, this ship's crew has accepted missions that range from launching planes of war during World War II to recovering, as David alluded to, spacecraft sent, as Neil Armstrong said, in peace for all mankind. Sadly, today our world is more focused on war than peace. Almost everywhere, on every continent, we see conflict. From full-scale war in Eastern Europe and the Middle East to insurrections, guerrilla fighting, and coups in Africa, to renewed insurgencies in Latin America, to China's determination. Be clear, their absolute determination to assert itself in the Pacific Rim. We live in dangerous times. That is one of the great understatements at this moment. So today, of all days, we must not forget, we can never forget that America guards the forefront of the order of general peace that NATO has provided for the last 80 years. And thanks to the unprovoked, barbaric attacks by Russia and Vladimir Putin, NATO has never been stronger. And though we have engaged in many so-called small wars in past, our resolve and that of our NATO alliance has prevented many more from becoming large-scale wars. Let me be clear. Such leadership does not come easily or without a price. It must be backed by men and women of courage. So once again, as always, we turn to you, who we recognize today, the half of the 1% who choose to serve. And we owe you more than we can ever hope to repay. But you have not asked to be repaid. You have served because you love this country. You have served because you saw your duty first to this great nation and what it stands for. Our challenges are great, but you were up to these challenges. Let the rest of us not forget the importance of supporting those of you who serve us. We, and with this in mind, we can, we must, and we will do more. We must hire our veterans because you are the best of the best, because you can add value to every business in America. You can increase the performance. You can mentor. You can lead. You know how to overcome challenges. You improve the bottom line. Thank you. Thank you on behalf of all of us here on Intrepid. Thank you on behalf of all of us who choose to support those of you who serve. And thank you for what you continue to do and have always done to keep this nation free, to protect the greatest nation on earth at a moment in time when our leadership is most needed. God bless you all, and God bless America.
Thank you very much, Bruce, for those very, very important words. I'm pleased to introduce a great friend of the Intrepid Museum and all our city's veterans. He's led the New York City Department of Veterans Services since 2019. Previously, he served as director of the NYU Veterans Future Lab. He spent 7 years in the U.S. Army as an infantry officer deployed in Iraq and Afghanistan, and worked as an admissions officer for West Point, from which he graduated. An Army reservist, he's the New York City lead for the 75th Innovation Command. Commissioner James Hendon.
Happy Veterans Day, everybody. Happy Veterans Day. Yeah, you can clap for that. Yeah. Goodness. Want to start by giving honors and salutations to Susan Marinoff-Zausner, recognizing her in her absence. Susan, president of the Intrepid Sea, Air, and Space Museum. Also acknowledging David Winters, executive vice president of the Intrepid, and the board leadership for the Intrepid, recognizing him in his absence, Ken Fisher, co-chair of Foundation, co-managing partner of Fisher Brothers, the other co-chairman for the Intrepid, Bruce Mosler, my brother from another mother, I'm gonna say that right now, chairman of Global Brokerage and CEO Emeritus of Cushman & Wakefield, and Chair Emeritus of Business Executives for National Security. Acknowledging from the U.S. Navy, Rear Admiral Wesley McCall, Commander, Navy, Mid-Atlantic Region, and our friends here, the U.S. The crew of the USS New York, folks stationed one pier over, the sister vessel, different generation, but the same mission, same determination, same hustle. Let's give a round for USS New York for our sailors and Marines who are here from them. U.S. military service members, past and present, in addition to their loved ones, all partners and supporters. As was mentioned, my name is James Hendon. I serve as commissioner for the New York City Department of Veterans Services. So honored to be with you today for this Intrepid Veterans Day observation. Speaking of the crew, I'm always overjoyed to be here because of you and because of what you represent. To my knowledge, the Intrepid is one of the few military units whose veterans continuously meet, celebrate, and convene here in New York City. We have a few other elements that do this, but unfortunately, some of these other elements have gone silent lately, yet you still meet. Also, this Intrepid group is not a collection of veterans with different military backgrounds who've come after their service. This is not a traditional VSO. All of you have served on this vessel sometime between April 26th, 1943 and March 15th, 1974. I'm going to do this to put folks on the spot real quick. Can some of our Intrepid sailors, can you just call out the years of your service? We can just go from right to left, just calling out your years of service. Anybody who's here who's Intrepid, call out when you served. Yeah. 1970, 1972. What else we got? 62, 63? 61, 64? 58? Anybody else? 67? 71, 72. We get anybody else? We miss anybody? Yeah. 59. Goodness. 71, 73. So we got everything from 58 to, I hear, was any 74 here? Or just up to 73 here? We got generations reflected here. And this is special. No one else is doing this in town right now as far as still coming together as a unit. And so we appreciate you for that. Runs the gambit. The 130 or so out of the 50,000 who served on the Intrepid during its 31-year run, you are the archetype for what it means to stay tied to one another and to our shared traditions, our shared sacrifices, history, our shared service. They say that for those who serve, the most important thing many of us want is not necessarily a thank you, not necessarily a ton of benefits, though we will accept them, they are deserved. The most important thing that many of us desires is to be seen, is to not be forgotten. We want to be remembered. The most efficient way that happens is when we cast the light on ourselves, when we come together, and when we unite. You are unique compared to other veteran serving entities because you've been coming together since day one, since the time when you first joined the Navy, or for those whom it applies, the Marine Corps. You have built the bonds of kinship to help get our service members and their families to a better place for multiple generations. This is why we honor you. People use the saying, they broke the mold when they made you, when it comes to creating a veteran community. Seeding veteran advocacy and catalyzing diverse stakeholders to achieve veteran and military family success. The mold did not break with the Intrepid. You are the mold. Everything that we do in this community, locally, statewide, nationally, from World War II, what was it, 5 kamikaze attacks this vessel survived, Central Pacific, Philippines, Japan, to the Cold War, to the space mission, the Vietnam, including the Intrepid's present incarnation as of 1982 as a museum. Good things hemorrhaged for our people from this place, running the entire scale from protection to advancement, and you Intrepid sailors and Marines are its heartbeat. You've graduated to a rarefied class because your work will live on well beyond your days. It's easy to take actions, but it is very difficult. It's hard to build systems. And when the book is written about this vessel, about this crew, it'll be said that your lasting gift is the building of a system, something that's going to outlive all of you, all of us. Like the first Intrepid, it's a vessel captured by the U.S. Navy, which originally had belonged to Tripoli back in 1803. That's the very first USS Intrepid. And then the second, it's a steam torpedo ram commissioned in 1874. And the third, a training ship launched in 1904. This fourth USS Intrepid, was an aircraft carrier, CV-11, continues the legacy of its predecessors. You have innovated the systems of the very American veteran and military cultures which gave you your name. You symbolize the gift that our veterans, military service members and their families give to this nation at great cost over and over and over again. For this reason, we gather to say thank you for your service. Please let us know if there's anything that we can do to be right by you when it comes to your benefits, your services, your programs, the things that you've earned. May God continue to bless you and keep you in the days ahead, and happy, happy, happy Veterans Day. Yeah. Just want to ending it with 2 quotes. One is Jeff Miller: "The willingness of America's veterans to sacrifice for our country has earned them our lasting gratitude." Once again, the willingness of America's veterans to sacrifice for our country has earned them our lasting gratitude. Next is Winston Churchill: "Never was so much owed to so many by so few." Never was so much owed to so many by so few. God bless you. God bless the city of New York, and God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner, for joining us and for those truly inspiring words. It is my honor to introduce an exceptional leader and patriot. He's responsible for the Navy's shore installations from Maine all the way to North Carolina, ensuring that the fleet, the fighters, and military families have quality support ashore so that the men and women serving our nation can do their jobs anywhere at any time. He previously served as commander of the Navy's Southeast region. Other operational assignments have included tours with helicopter anti-submarine squadrons 4 and 2, navigator on the aircraft carrier George Washington, and commander of helicopter anti-submarine squadron 6. He assumed command of the Navy's Mid-Atlantic region this past May. Please join me in welcoming Rear Admiral Wes McCall.
Well, thank you, David. Happy Veterans Day, everybody. You know what really stinks? I was telling Mr. Mosler this before I came up here. What really stinks is we both had to follow the commissioner went up here. I don't know if you noticed. But he was writing a speech as he was sitting up here in the chair. So that was pretty incredible. Another thing I'd like to just acknowledge is our national anthem singer over there. One of the things that amazes me, yeah. One of the things that never ceases to amaze me is the incredible talent we have within our military today. NC1, that was fantastic. I don't know if that's your family sitting over there with you. I assume that it is, but they should be very proud of you, as we all are. Well done on your national anthem, okay? And for all the active duty military sitting out there in the crowd today, and there's a lot of you here, we stand on the shoulders of giants. Everything that our service members, our veterans did in years past, we built upon their legacy. We built upon their service. We built upon their sacrifice. Everything that we are, we owe to you. So thank you for that. In the room up here in the first row is Arthur. It's been 77 years since he was discharged from the United States Navy. He didn't serve on Intrepid. 77 years. We owe a lot to Arthur, as well as our Intrepid sailors. When he got out of the Navy, they gave him a nickel. They gave him a train ticket and a bologna sandwich and said, thank you for your service, and shipped you back off to New York. So Arthur, all the Intrepid sailors, thank you for your service, Arthur. Again, we stand on the shoulders of giants. Well, I'm truly honored and humbled to speak with you all today on this very special day as we honor and recognize our veterans. Commissioner Hendon, nice to see you again. Always hate to follow you. Mr. Bruce Mosler, thank you for everything you've done for our veterans as well here in the city of New York and around the country, and for helping keep the spirit of this great ship alive, along with all the intrepid sailors that are here today. And most importantly, our distinguished veterans, including former crew members of Intrepid who are in the audience today, and all of our fellow Americans that are around us now, just trying to get a glimpse of greatness. Each year, we take the time to celebrate our veterans. We offer thanks to the men and women who have always put our country before themselves. And we take time to contemplate the larger meaning of their service. To the members of all services and attendants, past and present, whether you use the phrase shipmate, guardian, airman, battle buddy, or you sound off with a strong oorah, you served a greater purpose than yourself. And you're a part of an unbroken chain of men and women who devoted themselves to this country with honor and distinction. On behalf of a very proud and grateful nation, we thank you. We not only thank you for your service, we owe you our respect and our very freedom, a freedom so many take for granted. I stand before you today filled with gratitude and honor. It is an incredible privilege to be here in New York City during New York City Veterans Week. The welcome and warmth this great city has extended to our sailors, Marines, and our veterans is nothing short of remarkable. New York City has always opened its heart and arms to us with unparalleled generosity. The city is a maritime city with a rich history and stands as a symbol of American strength, diversity, and resilience, just like the Intrepid. This city and this magnificent ship, an iconic landmark here in New York, represent the unbreakable spirit of this great nation. The security and prosperity of our nation depends on the U.S. Navy, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard team to maintain our advantage at sea. The seas are the lifeblood of our economy, our national security, and our way of life. The Navy is America's away team, constantly present, operating with allies and partners, and in contact with potential adversaries every single day. U.S. naval forces defend the rules-based international order and ensure the world's oceans remain free and open for all. Today, tens of thousands of Americans' finest young men and women are deployed, defending us overseas and domestically, around the clock, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And today, in a world full of great tension, conflict, discrimination, and hate, we gather together to pause, to reflect, and offer our gratitude to so many who have volunteered to serve this greatest country in the world. On this special occasion, we gather not only to honor the veterans who have selflessly served our country, but also to acknowledge the dedicated men and women who currently serve on watch today. The sacrifices and unwavering commitment to our service members, both past and present, are the very foundation upon which our nation's freedom and security rests. To all our veterans and active duty service members, I say thank you. Thank you for your courage, your dedication, and your selflessness. Your sacrifices do not go unnoticed or unappreciated. Today, we are gathered on the Intrepid, a floating fortress that bore witness to significant events in history during World War II, the Cold War, Vietnam War, and as a NASA recovery vessel. We were reminded of the sacrifices made by the many individuals who stepped up to serve our country. This ship serves as a living memorial to the valor and dedication of our servicemen and women. The stories are forever written into its steel hull. During World War II, USS Intrepid was hit by enemy action on 5 occasions and fought in the largest naval battle in history at the Battle of Leyte Gulf in 1944. The crew demonstrated remarkable bravery and dedication in the face of immense adversity. Over the course of her service, she became not only a symbol of American naval power, but a beacon of hope for those who served aboard and a source of pride for our nation. Every veteran who proudly wore a uniform shares a united dedication to safeguarding America. Their actions were guided by an enduring set of core values and cherished traditions. Intrepid is an incredible example of how our veterans laid the foundation for the sailors and Marines that serve today. Veterans Week is a time for us to reflect on the price of freedom and to honor the heroes who paid that price. We remember those who have fallen in the line of duty, those who rest in Arlington National Cemetery and in cemeteries around the world. We also remember their families who also bear the weight of their sacrifice. It's also a time to celebrate the bonds of camaraderie that are forged by military service. These bonds transcend time and distance and are on full display here today. Across New York City, we see veterans sharing their stories, connecting with their shipmates, and finding solace in the company of those who understand the unique challenges of military service. I would like to close today with a quote from President John F. Kennedy, if I could. The President said, "We celebrate this Veterans Day for a very few minutes, a few seconds of silence, and then this country's life goes on. But I think it most appropriate that we recall on this occasion and on every other moment when we are faced with great responsibilities, the contribution and the sacrifice which so many individuals and their families have made in order to permit this country to now occupy its present position and freedom." To all veterans, thank you for your courage. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for leading the way and serving as an inspiration to us all, because it is due to your sacrifice that we can stand here today and live the way we do today as a strong, proud nation. May God bless each of you. May God bless our veterans. May God bless the United States of America. Happy Veterans Day, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Admiral, for coming all the way to be with us today and for those very, very kind words. Veterans Day is a day we set aside to salute our veterans from every branch of the military and honor their service, commitment, and patriotism. We would be remiss, however, if we did not also remember those who have made the supreme sacrifice for our country. Today, we will lay a memorial wreath on the waters of the Hudson River to honor all who have selflessly given their lives to protect our freedom. I ask Mr. Mosler, Commissioner Henton, and Admiral McCall to join us in our wreath-laying ceremony. The wreath will be presented by Adrian Marshall, son of the late Dr. Kenneth Marshall, by Al Schumacher, President of the USS Intrepid Former Crew Members Association, and Aaron Resnick, First Vice President of the Former Crew Members Association. Gentlemen. Thank you all for joining us this afternoon, and thank you to the Richmond County Pipes and Drums for the wonderful music. While it is Veterans Day, today is only one of 365 days each year in which we thank those who have served. God bless you all, and God bless our great nation.